Hello, it's me, Borat. Very nice. My wife, I'm going to teach you how to draw this man or someone like him in Photoshop. It's gonna be good, and you're gonna love it. Or else. So let's get started. I've pulled a reference photo that I'm going to be working from, and I am going to set up a new document by hitting Control N. And since I'm going to be doing this primarily to share on Instagram, I'm going to do 10 by 10 inches at 300 dpi. That way when I scale it down to be Instagram size, there will be a nice amount of little compressed details that'll look really good all scrunched together on Instagram. So I usually start off by picking like a base color that I can paint on top of. That's as good as any. It'll probably change by the end of it. I just want to put something down to better visualize. I'm going to go over to my reference, and I am going to go to Window, Arrange, 2 up vertical. That way, got my reference over here, my drawing over here, and I can get started. So I'm going to create a new fill layer, solid color. I'm going to make it black, and then I'm going to invert. I'm going to select the mask here, and then I'm going to invert the mask. My cat's trying to jump on my lap because he's talking, sorry. And now I've got this fill layer I can draw on top of. And I hit D. That makes my color selection white and black. And then when I draw white onto the layer mask, it makes a mark like that. And if I hit X to switch it over to black, it acts as an eraser with the same brush. Which is something I like, because I generally don't like using the eraser brushes that come with Photoshop. But I do like the brush brushes to be used as erasers. Anywho, that's just stuff that's been going on with me in my life. Anytime you select and delete something, you want to make sure you have black as the back color, because otherwise it'll do what I just did, which is make everything the fill layer. So, black is the background color. Delete, deletes everything. Okay, now I'm going to start drawing the head. And I like to start by just doing kind of a general shape. Just want to search out the shape. Apparently I talk like a robot when I am drawing and talking. I'll do my best to not do that. So it's got like a pretty standard drawing mannequin head. Just kind of like a tapered rectangle, and then it tapers deeper at the jawline. And then, let's see. I usually like once you've got kind of a generic shape, I like to, let's see, I just mark in his other, sorry, I shouldn't swear, his other stuff. I'm gonna forget that I said that, so I'm not gonna edit it out. When you're making shapes, you want to remember to try and break stuff into either straight lines, C-curves, which can be, you know, slight C-curves. I don't know, whatever you want to do. You could have one that's almost a straight line, but it's slightly curved. You can do anything. You can do anything you want. It's art. So you get straight lines, C-curves, and S-curves, which you'll almost never do one that's that exaggerated. I mean, that's just like not something that happens in nature. But things like this do happen. I'm really sorry. My animals are desperate for attention right now. Moki! You can have it. This is my dog. He's nervous all the time. Aren't we all? Okay. So for instance, his shoulder, it's a bit of an S-curve. Bit of an S-curve.
Is to leave with us.
Ah! Hey, guys! I locked my cat out. No more troublemaking from her. So the whole point of the C-curve, S-curve thing is that generally you don't want to have weird, irregular shapes. You want to kind of design your shapes so that they're... That's stupid. So that they're sort of following these rules. And then that'll just make it more pleasing to the eye. Obviously, rules are made to be broken. Lots of people do irregular shapes, and it's fine because they are smart enough to make it work. I don't know if I am. So I generally just stick to C-curve, S-curve, straight line. So just roughly mark everything in. Got his cute little hat. For now, I'm just gonna mark in with straight lines, I think. So the nice thing about having this mask is you can just kind of move it around, resize. It's fairly non-destructive, as they say. And just simplify that. So I got this head shape. It's not terribly accurate, but that's okay. I think I actually want to warp it a little bit. Okay, so that's actually something that can happen with the fill layer. So I'm gonna go ahead and flatten it out and then distort it this way. but I like to do a little distortion like so to kind of just exaggerate any shapes I see. So I'm kind of exaggerating the elongated and the tapered factor of space, which I kind of end up doing for everyone, just because I don't know, I like long faces. Okay.
It is a privilege to be.
So, kind of got this like loose head shape, and I like to reference the old, what's it called? Reilly method. I love to do that. Not that one. This one. So what I'm gonna do. Stack it like this. And Reilly over here. And reference over here. No, sir. That's not what I wanted. Okay. Cool. So, just want to mark in the brow, which, because of our vantage point, is a little bit above the ears like that. I'm going to do dividing face line. Put in a couple lines that mark the inner edges of the eyes. Which also roughly line up with the nose edges, and the bottom of the nose is going to be about halfway between the brow and the chin. So about here, and then you simplify that as like a little cap there, a little round cap boy thing. These are technical terms. Kind of indicating the nostrils. Important thing to keep in mind when you're doing this is that you're probably going to get a ton of stuff wrong, and that's fine. You just fix it later. I don't, you know, that's one of the joys of working digitally. Is you, here I'm doing the bridge of the nose, you can kind of fix stuff after the fact. Mark, brow kind of goes up like that. Marking cavity. And then this is sort of where that outside of the eye hits, I think. It's close-ish. Maybe it extends a little past that. I don't know. Anyway, so those are supposed to be representative of the entire ball in the eye. And then the eye shape is like the mask that the little ball wears. So again, it's good to keep in mind that your brain's always going to want to draw things wrong. I don't know how else to put that. So just be wary of like the ways that your brain tends to overcorrect shapes and try to kind of nudge it in the right direction, and don't exaggerate. Try to under-exaggerate the forms. And always remember, try to break the forms down in your mind in terms of do this. C curve, straight line, C curve, C curve, straight line. It's a little messy, but you get the idea. If you just like break down all the shapes you see into C curves and S curves, it tends to be a lot easier for your brain to interpret. Switch that to D. Brad does this kind of scooching out thing, tapering out. There's his nose button. There's his little nose ball. So cute. Okay, so these are the lines that I like drawing. I feel like they're fun. I don't even know how much they help me from a design perspective, but it makes it feel like I did a really good design. So you got this, it's this. What's the name for this? I don't know, I could look it up, but I'm not gonna. It runs across the top of the cheekbone, essentially. It curves past the eye socket and hits the edge of the nostril here, and then you use this to kind of map out the corners of your mouth. You can also do that with just like a plumb line. Like if I look here, you know, his corner of his mouth kind of lines up with about a third of the way into his eye. So yeah, I eyeballed it close enough. This is actually, I'm gonna switch this to multiply so that when I draw with white, it just looks like I erased it. Okay. Right. So I want to say, so according to Mr. Reilly, the bottom of the lower lip is halfway between the bottom of the nose and the chin. So you can kind of, that's just a generic guideline. Every face is different, so you're going to want to like make adjustments accordingly. I actually think his nose might be a little bit longer, so I'm just selecting it and dragging it down, which is something you can do digital. Like I was saying earlier, one of the joys of digital. Okay, so you got this curve, and just you got your little corner here. Just do a straight line across. And this just kind of get a feel, make sure everything looks good and symmetrical. Sort of drawing his face at an angle, I'm realizing. That's okay. Just use your brain calculator to keep everything parallel. And if you don't have a good brain calculator because you're just starting out, don't worry. It just comes with repetition. My brain calculator isn't always great when I'm drawing, but I can definitely tell when something looks very wrong. And that's important. Okay, this mouth, I'm gonna move it down. There's more space. Okay. So, got the little fulcrum thing here. And that's gonna be a C-curve that hits the lip just before the corner here. Then another C-curve does much the same thing. This is the part. Okay, it's starting to look a little lopsided. This is always the part where you can get really into the weeds with making sure everything's perfect and symmetrical. Okay. Set in his right mouse actually a little straighter. Go like so. Okay. And I also like these lines that go to just before the chin mound and connect up to here. That's like the edge of the cheekbone. And then you got your actual, I think it might actually be a little more. Assess like that. And then you got your actual cheek lump, which I always find very fun to draw. I'm a big fan of cheekbones. As are many artists, I suspect. They're just fun lumps that look good. Sorry, it's a weird series of words. Okay, so let's have it hitting like the bottom of the nose, and I don't know if that's quite right. I think it might actually be a little. Okay, that's better. And just so it like doesn't look weird to me, because it looks weird to me with just bald heads. There's nothing wrong with bald heads. I love bald heads, but you know, whenever you're drawing someone, they don't really look like the person until you add their hair, unless they are bald. In which case it's fine. You don't need to sketching any here, obviously. Okay. I'm gonna recess his chin a little bit, and then if you like, you can draw the chin mound. Just to make sure it's symmetrical and everything. And then I like to draw this circle, which is the tooth cylinder, I believe. I like saying the words tooth cylinder. I like drawing the tooth cylinder. I like everything about it. I like looking at people's tooth cylinders in real life and just thinking about their depth. So what I do on a first date is I just examine the tooth cylinder. I'm just kidding, that's insane. So yeah, the tooth cylinder basically goes from where your nose ball ends, and then you draw a line to here. And then you circle around, and it intersects with the chin mound. It's actually probably easier to understand on the drawing versus my face. Yeah, so the tooth cylinder just extends past the corners of the mouth here, and down below the bottom lip, and overlapping with the chin mount. And that's the tooth cylinder. It's helpful to think of when you're, drawing people's faces and whatnot. It always helps me make sure I've got the mouth positioned correctly. Okay, and then mark in the hair, fun, hair, boop, boop, boop. Beautiful man, hair, beautiful man, draw me beautiful man, love him. Oh, I actually don't know where this photo is from. It's just on Pinterest, which is honestly pretty terrible about crediting photographers or image makers in general. It's a little better about illustration, but there are just tons of beautiful photos on Pinterest that even if you Google image search it, you'll just never know who made them, which sucks. People should always be credited for their work. So this is your photo and you don't want it in this video, let me know. I am happy to delete this video and pretend it never happened. Okay, so I'm sort of sensing... Okay, one thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make image rotation, flip canvas horizontal. You're going to want to have a hotkey for that. Doesn't matter what the hotkey is, but you're going to want to have easy access to that so you can be constantly flipping back and forth your image, especially in the design phase. And I can see there are many issues with symmetry. That I must correct. Actually, I think his face looks a little too long at the moment. I think, okay. good. I think I'm just using the standard transform tool to kind of warp stuff around until it looks right to me. And my brain calculator, it's under my hat. Just drawing horizontal plumb lines, which I don't know if they have a special name. Make sure the corners of the jaw are lined up here. This is going to get increasingly beat up and dirty. So try to just and it's kind of a hard edge compared to the real boy. I'm just gonna erase out the hardness of this. Okay, there's my very, very rough man. I'm gonna just roughly work over this. Make sure everything looks right. Just kind of doing the major dark landmarks, which are the bottom cap of the nose, eyebrows, and mouth. Set this to multiply, so I'm not seeing a little white. I'm just gonna do an outline shape of the eyebrows. Just gonna mark the shadow brow a little bit for reference. C curve, straight line. Fun design. Actually, C curve. Kind of tapers down. Drawing his little eyes. It's kind of a downward stroke, the edge of the brow like that. Okay, I don't need to look at this Reilly thing anymore. I think we've moved past that part. Yeah, buddy. I don't know how to help him. Okay, so I think there's actually, hold on. I guess it looks like, okay, it looks wrong though, somehow. But, whatever. So I'm just refining the shapes a little, breaking it further into C curve and S curve world. It'll be fun later to draw this little split loop hair thing. Refine the ear shapes. I don't know why I said it like that. I'm in the process of trying to quit coffee, so I'm feeling weird. Oh, his ears are asymmetrical. That's cute. Sorry. Just infantilizing this beautiful man. Okay, I like the kind of movement, or wait, that way of the hat. I kind of didn't really catch it the first time, so I'm gonna make more of an effort to have it sort of flow over this way. That looks pretty. This pretty man looks pretty. Just a little hack for you out there. If you do somewhat realistic renderings of pretty people, that's kind of a cheat code for having good art, because everyone likes looking at pretty people, so they see a pretty person in your drawing and they assume you're good at drawing, I guess. Oh, this face is pretty, so ergo, drawing pretty. Oh. Oh. I've been trying to do pretty men lately, because I just feel like pretty women are a little played out, you know? It's 2019. Men can be pretty. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it to hell. Okay, I'm gonna do a little flippy flip. Flippy flip. And already it's becoming clear that we've got some floating away going on. But what is floating away? That is the question. Gives the impression that his head is tilted the wrong way. So we're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix it. Fix it in post. Maybe we can do like so. Yeah, that looks better. Ugh, I don't know what I was doing with this line. But that's why always be flippin'. Always be flippin'. Because otherwise you'll make a ton of mistakes, you'll never even know about it. People will look at your drawings and laugh and say, he must not have flipped. He must not have been flipping. He's look at that fool, that idiot. Not flipping. I wish he was dead. He didn't flip. He should die. Sorry. I'm gonna start teaching at a university soon, so I probably shouldn't talk like this. This is fun though. Maybe I should Twitch stream. Maybe that's what would make me happy. Finally, I can be happy. I'm just gonna sketch in some of the details so I don't get lost when I'm shadow mapping. I'm gonna push this down. I think I'm gonna make not sure if I want to make both of the nose and the mouth smaller. Maybe just the mouth. That looks good. He has a little baby mouth. No, he doesn't. I'm sorry, that's stupid. It's a fine mouth. Fine mouth for a king. So this shadow, you remember your Reilly. You got the chin mound. You got the tooth cylinder. At the bottom of the lip. And this freaking guy here. Look at this. Yeah, it's defined by these other forms. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's so interesting. It's not as exaggerated on him, so I'm gonna pretend like this never happened. Well, no, I'll leave the guides. It's good to have guides. Okay. What's next? What are we doing? Hey, where's the fire? Sort of preemptively shadow mapping. Now I'm gonna take a swig of my water. What do I think of this? I think maybe his face is too long and not proportionally. Let me measure again. Yeah. Push all this stuff up a little. When you're making a long face, you want to make sure it's still proportional, so it doesn't look weird. That's enough that explanation. I don't need to go into further detail. Okay, I'm gonna make these guides lighter because they're kind of weird. Lump face. Okay. Cool. Just see if I wanna. So once you have everything like, you're pretty sure it's like proportional or whatever, then you can kind of distort it like so. And it'll stay proportional, which is fun. Make things feel kind of stylized and cartoony. While keeping everything proportional. I don't like that. His eye might be too big? Question mark. Okay, I'm reasonably happy with that. I'm to the point where I can move on to the next step. Although I cannot because I have a doctor's appointment. So I will pick this up tomorrow, maybe. Bye.